I don't know if any of you guys had that experience, but that was certainly where I came from. So was happy to grow up in the church and learned a lot there. Grew up really just loving sports. Basketball is really, really big. That's the biggest sport that I'm all about. So we've got the Indiana Pacers, so I love basketball. Love American football. Those are the things we grew up with. I've got a younger brother. He's still in Indiana right now. And just more than anything, it's just been a really humble beginnings, really try to teach us good values and those sorts of things. So that's the kind of home I came up with. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a police officer. So, you know, he told us all those things to look out for, you know what I mean? So I have been pulled over in the UK. Let's be clear about that. That was a strange situation, getting pulled over from the UK, but I wasn't speeding, I promise.
Okay. So your dad was a policeman. Your mum was a churchgoer, and she took you to church. So did that make you a Christian? You are a Christian?
I am a Christian, yes.
Did that make you a Christian?
No, you know, just going to church, that wasn't enough. You know, it was really, I remember the first Bible verse I was ever memorized is Romans 10:9. And so, you know, if you believe in your heart, confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, you shall be saved. And so, you know, it took a while. You know, it's one thing to say it, kind of like praying over and over, but it's when it kind of gets into your heart. And I remember I was probably 12, 13. I didn't have one of those aha moments, but, you know, one of those situations where, well, I really knew this thing and wanted to give my life to God and submit to His Lordship. So, you know, ever since then, probably 12 and 13, just really had a thirst to continue to study and those sorts of things. And kind of growing up, it was all about music. Do I have anybody who likes hip-hop here? Anybody into rap music at all? You can raise your hand. If not, that's cool too.
So some are thinking, what's hip-hop?
Oh my God, don't you say that to me!
Do you want to explain what hip-hop is for me?
Of course, just for Mr. Rob here. Yeah, so, you know, we would grow up, and literally when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of Christian rap artists. So, you know, I always loved poetry, I always loved writing, always loved music, played piano, you know, since I was 6, trumpet, French horn, loved classical music, loved all those sorts of symphonic things. And the problem was I loved rap music, but unfortunately, all the rap music had a lot of bad language and all those sorts of things. You know, there was a big moment for me where my mom, I don't know if I told you guys this a couple years ago, but she grabbed all our CDs at the time, I know everybody's got iPods and stuff, and threw them in the fireplace, you know. So that was like, whoa, she threw all of our music in the fireplace and said, if you're gonna make music, you do it, you know, if you're gonna listen to music, listen to good music. And we decided to go and start making our own music. And so that's kind of where things started for me. So to answer your question, hip-hop music, poetry on top of beats, that's how I would say it in probably about 4 or 5 words. You'll see them.
So does that mean I can get down with it now?
Oh, we're gonna do it. I'm taking you back to Indianapolis, Rob. We're gonna see how you do in the streets. How's Rob in the streets?
Me and you, bro. Okay, so you call yourself SOC. Now, in England, that means a few things, like the things that you put on your feet. But what does that stand for, and why does that? Explain the name to us. What's it all about?
Yeah, SOC, S-O-C. Just to go back to my years at university, I picked the alias because I was always one of those, there's a genre, subgenre of hip-hop music, this is for yourself, Rob, called conscious rap. And I was one of those kind of guys. You know all about that.
I do.
And so what we would do in those is it was like you would talk about cultural issues, very, very deep thinking. And so I took the alias Socrates. So we would go to different campuses, and that was my alias. And you know, it was the whole philosophical piece. Philosophic Productions was the company and all that sort of stuff. But there was a point in time I said, you know what, anything you do, do for the glory of God. So it was the whole 1 Corinthians 10:31 thing that really convicted me. And so really what I ended up doing is said, okay, let's kill the Socrates piece, but retain the SOC. And, you know, unlike your nice black socks you have there, I see you clean with the black shoes and the black socks. But it's servant of Christ. So that's what that's what the acronym stands for. So when you see SOC, it's absolutely servant of Christ. So whenever we do music, whenever we're writing, it's always centered around making sure that Christ is exalted.
So final question, what makes you a servant of Christ for everyone here? What makes you a servant of Him?
Yeah, I think everyone, anyone who, you know, believes that Christ is Lord and submits to Him is His servant. I mean, we're told to be servants. He's our master. And so as that, what makes me a servant of Christ in all that I do, when I'm at work, when I'm at home, in the home or away from it, when I'm in the studio, when I'm on my computer, when I'm making the beats, when I'm writing, I'm really trying to do it for His glory so that He'd be honored through it. And so that's what makes, I think, me a servant of Christ.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Give him a round of applause.
Oh.